Well, we're going to go ahead and get started standing up. So if you want to get stood up on your mat, hopefully you have not already made it down to the floor. I'm going to get our music started. Let's see. There we go. All right, so we're going to start standing up. Let's get those feet stacked under the hips and the shoulders over the top of the hips. So just get a good straight spine. Let's take the palms up and close the eyes for just a moment here, taking a few deep breaths in and out of the nose. So deep inhale through the nose and long exhale through the nose. Just start to let that stress melt away. Let any anxiousness melt away from any technical difficulties as we get ready for this class. Relax the shoulders, straighten the spine. And just notice the rise and the fall of your chest as you take those deep inhales. And those long exhales. And just relaxing the body here for just a moment. And then opening those eyes whenever it feels comfortable. We're going to inhale, take a big sweep up of the arms. We're just going to keep the arms goal width apart. So the hands are apart. Just stretch like it's the first stretch of the day. And then exhale the arms back down. Now inhale the arms back up, and we're going to interlace the fingers. Point your finger up to the sky. So the fingers are interlaced for stretching tall. The hips are just slightly tucked under. Let's get a little dip to the right. A little dip to the left. One more to the right. And then a final dip to the left. Taking the pointer fingers back up. Exhale, let's take the hands behind the head. So we're just putting those hands right behind the head here, stretching through the chest. So we're really pulling those elbows open. Inhale, lift the chest and the gaze up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring it all back forward. Release the hands down by the side. Inhale, a big sweep of the arms. Now interlacing the fingers again. This time let's take the left foot, step it back behind the right, and get a little twist here, a little lean into that right hip. Bringing it back forward, stepping the left leg back. Let's take the right leg, stepping it behind the left, a little dip to the left here. Bringing it back forward. Exhale, the hands down. And one more inhale, lifting them up. Exhale, let's forward fold. Now I'm not coming into a full forward fold, but let's take the hands above the knees. So those hands are going to be right above the knees here, and let's get a pedal into those legs. So not collapsing all the way forward, but just coming to that flat back, bend and straighten the legs. Let's wake up the hamstrings a little bit here. So maybe you push into that right hip, taking a few pulses. And then push into the left hip, taking a few pulses. Maybe you pedal fast. Just listen to your body, whatever you need here. We're just waking up the hamstrings, waking up the lower back. With just a few pedals. And then inhale, slowly roll the vertebrae and straighten it back up. Now let's get a good wide stance here. So opening those legs much, much wider than the hips. We're going to slightly angle those toes outward. So they're just gently pointing outward to the corners of our mats. Inhale, big sweep of the arms. Exhale, press the tailbone back and forward fold. Now getting those hands down to the mat, so if you need to open up those legs wider, feel free to do so. But let's get the hands down to the mat here. Stretching in to those hamstrings fully. Let's relax the head, dropping it down. And just take a few breaths here. Breathing in and out of the nose. Relaxing the breath, relaxing the shoulders here. Let's take a little bend into the right knee. And then a little bend into the left knee. Take a little bend into the right knee. And then back over into the left knee. Straighten the legs out and slowly stack those vertebrae, raising it all the way back up. So coming back into that straight spine, drop the shoulders back. Now, if you need to walk those feet in just a little bit, feel free to do so. But we're going to take that right toe, facing it to the top corner of the mat, the left heel to the back corner here. So left heel goes back, right toe goes forward. Hips and shoulders face forward, hands go by the side, and we're pressing that knee into warrior two. So bending in to that right knee here, extending those hands out long. Take that gaze down the middle finger of that right hand. So pressing away from the right heel here, really pushing in, or pressing away from the left heel here, really pressing into that right knee. Finding that stability in that warrior two. Now straighten the right leg, drop the right hand down, lift the left hand up and find a triangle. So stretching into that left hip, that right hamstring, finding that triangle pose here. And then sweeping it back up, and let's press right back into warrior two. So bending through that right knee, taking the gaze down the right hand. Just pressing right back into that warrior two. And then release the hands by the side and straighten out the right leg. Now let's swap those feet. So left toe goes to the front of the mat. Right heel goes to the back corner. And we're going to bend into that left knee, hips and shoulders face forward, hands extend long. This time we gaze down that left middle finger and move into warrior two, just into that opposite side here. So looking down the left arm, pushing away from the right heel, pressing in to the left foot. Stretching into that warrior two, finding that balance, finding that stability. Straighten the left leg, drop the left hand down, lift the right hand up and find a triangle. So relaxing the head, the neck, and the shoulders here as we bend down, reaching that left hand as close as we can to the foot, right hand extends up. Pressing into that right hip. And then slowly lift it up and press back into warrior two. So just bending that knee forward, the shoulders and the hips stay forward. Bending into that left knee, gazing down the left hand. Release the arms. And then take both toes facing back forward, slowly bringing those feet back together. And let's take it to the tops of the mat here. So inhale, big sweep up of the arms. Exhale, forward fold, and we're going to find a ragdoll sway. So right hand to left elbow, left hand to right elbow. Bend those knees as generously as needed and find a little rock from side to side here. So just a gentle rock from the right to the left, no big movements, but just loosening up any tension in the shoulders. Just a gentle sway. Take the hands down to the mat and step back, downward facing dog. So walking those feet back, stepping back, downward facing dog. And we're gonna get a pedal here since this is that first down dog. So start pedaling those feet, pressing those heels back, rocking those knees forward. Massaging the hamstrings, the knees, the calves here. Finding that gentle movement. Now pressing those heels back. Can you get a little lift in that right leg? Just a gentle lift. Taking the right leg back down. Can you get a little gentle lift with that left leg? Taking the left leg back down. Drop down to the knees. Open the knees wide. Kiss the big toes and find a child's pose. Now you can walk those hands in if those shoulders are tired, stacking the fists. Or you can keep those hands out long, stretching deeper into the back. Whatever your body needs here, just take a few breaths in this child's pose, slowing it down. Relaxing the breath, relaxing the body here. And then on that next inhale, let's press up onto the hands and knees, walking the knees under the hips. And let's walk those walk those hands all the way up, coming up onto those high knees here. So we're on our high knees. And I'm going to face you guys so you can see what's going on, but we're just going to take that right leg out to the side. So on those high knees, the right leg goes out to the side. Let's take the hand, reaching down to the ankle and sweep the left hand up. Now you can take the hand above the knee or below the knee. Just make sure you're not putting any pressure on that knee joint itself here. So just in a little side sweep here. Breathing deep. Lifting it back up. And now we're going to take that right foot that was out to the side, and we're going to take it directly in front of us, bending at the knee here. So bending at the knee, we're going to take this left hand to the top of the thigh and sweep the right hand over this time. So just a gentle switch here. A gentle opening of the right ribs. And then take the right hand down and bring the right knee back to meet the left. And we're going to take that left leg out to the side. So the left leg goes out to the side here, and then we take the left hand reaching down for the ankle. Like I said, reaching either above the knee or below the knee. Sweep the right arm up and over. Taking a deep breath. Opening through those right ribs. Really stretching all the way down the side. Feeling that stretch in the abdominal wall. Lifting it back up and taking that leg right out in front of us, bending at the knee, taking the right hand to the top of the thigh and sweep the left arm up and over here. So just moving into a stretch on that opposite side, switching it out, opening through the left ribs here. And then take the left hand down. Let's take the hands back to the mat and come back onto the hands and knees. So So knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly and raise the head into cow. Exhale, round the spine into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale one more time into cow. One final exhale into cat. And then come to that neutral spine. Let's bring that right foot up to the right pinky finger. Press the hips forward and then inhale, lift both hands up to the ceiling, stretching out long, pressing those hips forward here, lifting those hands up high. And then taking the hands back down to the mat, bring the right knee back to meet the left. Left foot forward to the hands, walk the hips forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then take the hands back to the mat. Left knee comes back. Walk the hands under the shoulders. Let's get a deep inhale. Exhale, curl the toes and find a downward facing dog. Press the heels back. Drop the head. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. Can you get a little lift of the right leg here? And take the right foot back down. Get a little lift of the left leg here. And then take it back down. And then let's walk the feet to the hands, however they find their way there. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, shoulders roll back, and we are back into that standing position. And we are coming back into that wide leg stance. So opening up those legs wide, let's face those right toes forward, the left heel to the back corner of the mat. Hips and shoulders stay aligned. Stretch the hands long, press into warrior two. So the right knee bends forward here. We take the gaze down the right arm. And just taking a few breaths in this warrior two, finding that balance, finding that stability. Straighten the right leg, drop the right hand down, left hand lifts up. We found a triangle. So stretching into that left hip here, left hand lifts up tall. And then a big movement here. Let's lift it all the way, bend the right knee, find a reverse warrior. So right hand sweeps up, right knee is bent forward. Take the gaze up to the ceiling. And then release it all back to center. Let's swap out the feet. So left toe to the front corner of the mat, right heel to the back corner, or excuse me, left toe to the front of the mat, right heel to the back corner. Bend the left knee, hands out by the sides. Hips and shoulders stay in alignment, facing forward. And we gaze down the left hand this time. So bending into that right knee, finding that warrior two, that stability and control here. Left hand extends long. Now straightening the left leg, drop the left hand down, sweep the right hand up, finding triangle. Breathing deep, relaxing the head here, relaxing the neck. And then a big movement here, lifting it all the way up, bending the left knee, reverse warrior. Left hand lifts up. opening through the left ribs. And then bring it back to center. Taking the toes, we're going to face them forward and then gently angle them out. Just slightly angled out here. We're going to bend into the knees, get the hands down on the knees here into a goddess squat. And then gently press the knees back, drop the left shoulder forward. Staying within that range of motion here, finding that little twist in that goddess. Drop the right shoulder forward. Dropping the left shoulder forward for the final time. And then last time, taking the right shoulder forward. Reach the hands down to the mat here. Lift that tailbone up. And we're just in a wide-legged forward fold here. So you can angle those toes back forward if you need to create a little space in the legs. But just very gently letting the hands press onto the mat. And then inhale, slowly lift it up. Exhale, drop those shoulders back. And let's heel toe, bringing those feet all the way back together and taking it right back to the tops of the mat. Inhale, big sweep. Exhale, we're going to find a ragdoll again. So setting the seat back, right hand to left elbow, left hand to right elbow. Bending the knees generously. Let's get a little rock from side to side. So just gently rocking from side to side in that ragdoll sway here. Breathing deep, relaxing the breath, working out any tightness in the spine. And then take the hands to the mat, and we're just going to drop down to our knees. So knees come under the hips, hands come under the shoulders. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, and lift the head into cow. Exhale into cat, rounding the spine. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. And come back to that neutral spine. Let's bring the right foot to the right pinky finger. Press the hips forward. Lift the hands up. Open through the chest. Dropping the elbows back. Really breathing into the chest, lifting the heart. And then take the hands back to the mat. Bring the right knee back. Bring the left foot forward, pressing the hips forward. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, drop the elbows. Open through the chest. Take the hands to the mat. Bring the left knee back. Open up the knees and let's find a child's pose. Now if those hands are tired, feel free to stack those fists, resting the head on those fists. Taking a little pressure off the shoulders, off the chest. Taking a little pressure off the upper back. We're just going to use this pose to regain that breath, so feel free to take those hands and stack them. Or if it's comfortable for you, keeping them walked out long. And just relaxing the breath, getting it back under control. Breathing deep here. And then gently pressing up onto the hands and knees, and we're gonna roll it over on to a seated position. So crisscrossing those legs, getting that good straight spine, lifting up those glute muscles if we need to here. Getting adjusted, getting that spine straight. Let's inhale the shoulders up. Exhale, drop them back just to make sure that they are stacked good over the hips. And we're gonna take that right hand. We're gonna take it all the way over the top of the head so the bicep is actually touching the right ear. And then drop the hand all the way down to the left ear so that arm is fully over the top of the head. And then just a gentle tug opening through the neck. So that head rests in the right arm. And we're just gently opening through the neck here. Then release that side of the head. Take the right hand down to the right knee. Left hand goes all the way over, or left arm goes all the way over to reaching to the right ear. And then just gently opening through the neck. This may be a very easy tug on that neck because sometimes it's a little extra tight in this pose. We want to be very gentle. And then releasing it all the way back forward. Now we're going to really get into those shoulder blades. So right arm comes directly in front of the face, and we're going to take that left elbow, dropping it in the crease of the right arm, and twist the hands together. So left arm on top, right arm underneath. Let's round through the spine, dropping the chin into the crease of the arms here, almost as if that nose is coming down into the crease of the elbows as well. So rounding through the shoulders here, really stretching into that upper back, into those trap muscles. Keeping that breath deep, not letting any tension build up there. And then on that next exhale, take the hands, untie them, and bring them down to the knees. Let's get a big head roll all the way around. And then change that direction. All the way around. Bring the head back forward. Left arm comes up in front of the face. Right elbow goes into the crease of the left arm. Twist the hands together. And then drop the nose down into the crease of the elbows, round through the spine. So really feeling those shoulder blades pull away from each other as we open through the upper back. Breathing deep here. Relaxing the neck. And then on that next exhale, untie those hands, taking the palms of the hands back down to the knees. Slowly, big head roll all the way around. And then change the direction all the way around. Getting that good straight spine. Again, we're going to lead with that belly button. Let's just take a few circles, whichever direction you choose, just leading with that navel. We're just working out any tension that may have been built up in that mid-back. And then when it feels good for you, change that direction, rolling it in the opposite way, very gently. Being very gentle with our spine as always. And then get a good straight posture once again. Inhale the shoulders up. Exhale, drop them back to that good straight spine. Now let's get that right leg. I'm gonna move around some of my stuff. Let's get that right leg out to the side here. Bring that left heel into the hip flexor, and we're gonna find that beach ball. So drop the right hand down, lift the left arm up and over, finding that big beach ball here. Breathing as we open through those left ribs. That heart is lifted up to the ceiling so that left arm doesn't collapse forward. It lifts up high. Really feeling that stretch in the hip, in that outer seat, even as we tug along the spine. Making sure we do not hold our breath. And then lifting it back up, keeping that upper body straight. We're just going to swap out the legs, taking that right leg, staying on that right leg, but bringing it directly forward. And then setting that left hip back as we pull the left heel back into that hip flexor. So the right leg is directly out in front of us, and we've taken a little step back with that left heel. And we're going to reach down for those left toes. So reach down for those right toes, walking the right hands all the way down. Once again, staying within that range of motion. Being conscious of that lower back here. We don't want to round the spine too much to where we pull into that lower back. So reaching down for those toes very gently. Breathing deep. Stretching into that right leg here. And then slowly lifting it all the way back up. We're going to change out the legs this time. So bring the right heel in. Left leg goes out to the side here. So the left leg is out to the side, right heel is into the glute. Let's find that beach ball. Drop the left hand down, sweep the right arm up and over. So like I said, we're opening through that heart here. So lifting that heart up towards the ceiling, not collapsing the arm forward. Finding that big beach ball, stretching through the right side. And then slowly lifting it up, we're going to bring that left foot forward and just setting that right hip back gently, taking the heel into the hip flexor, walking the hands down the left leg. So once again, noticing that lower back here, being gentle with the lower back as we forward fold. Reaching down for the toes here, letting the hands fall where they may. Taking a few deep breaths here. And then slowly lifting it back up, and we're going to find a butterfly. So soles of the feet come together. And you can take the elbows down to the knees if that suits you. You can just gently lean forward. You can find a flutter here, whatever works for your body. So whether you're fluttering those knees or taking the elbows down, just open through those hips here. Take a few deep breaths, really opening through the hips. Releasing any tension in the lower back. If you need to find a little rock here, that can be found also. But just taking a deep breath. And then releasing it back up, and we're going to find a very gentle half lotus. So taking the right leg down, stacking the left leg on top. We want to be very gentle with the knees. So if you need to get those feet open a little wider, then feel free to do that. But just walking down to those elbows here if you can, or walking those hands out long if you even need a prop or something here to rest the elbows on. That can be found as well. But stretching in to that left outer seat. As we drop it down, we feel that little tug in that left hip, that left outer seat here. But taking a deep inhale, really resting on that exhale, releasing any tension. We're going to switch into that other side in just a moment, and that's going to be our final stretch in this seated position. So just breathing deep. Walking those hands up very slowly back up, and let's walk them over to the right side for just a moment. So really centering that chest up with that left toe. And then lifting it all the way up. Uncrossing those legs and swapping them out. Left leg down, right leg on top this time. Dropping down to those forearms or walking those hands out, whatever suits you here. Stay within that range of motion. If you need to find any adjustments, feel free to do so. But finding what feels good for you here. Relaxing in to this stretch. On those exhales, removing any tension that's getting built up in the back of the hips. And then very gently walk the hands up and just over to the left knee, centering the chest up with that right toe for just a moment. And then lift it all the way back up. Now just get a regular crisscrossed position here, whatever feels good for you. Straighten the spine. Let's get a big head roll all the way around. And then change that direction. Maybe a little rock from right to left, loosening up the sides from those folds. And then let's take it back to our hands and knees. So one final time, stacking the knees under the hips and the hands under the shoulders here. We're going to work out any tension that may have been built up in the back here. So curl those toes. Let's find a final downward facing dog and a pedal. So pushing the heels back, get a good pedal of the legs here. Just rocking from side to side if that feels good for you. Maybe it feels better to just hold this down dog. That can be found here as well. Maybe you dip the knees together and press it back. But just find a little wiggle room in this down dog. Whatever feels good for you here. And then drop the knees under the hips. Walk the hands under the shoulders. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Coming to that straight spine and roll it over onto our backs. So taking our time here as we get all the way down to our backs, you want to get that strap close by here. So getting that strap close by, dropping it all the way down onto our backs. Let's take the legs out long. Let's take the hands above the head. Get a big stretch like it's the first stretch of the morning here. inhale, and then a long exhale, bringing the hands back by the side, walking the feet back in so that the knees are bent. And let's take that strap around the base of the right foot. Press that right foot up into the ceiling here, coming into a hamstring stretch. So we're just gently pulling those toes back towards the head here. And then bend that knee into the chest. Press that foot out. Bend that knee in. Press the foot out. Bend the knee in. And then press that foot back out. Gently pull the toes back. Get a little static hold on this leg. And remove the tie. And bring that right leg down into happy baby. So the elbow comes to the inner part of the knee, the hand goes to the outer part of the foot. We're just going to get a few breaths here in this single leg happy baby. Opening through the hamstring, opening through the hip here. And then release the right foot down. And take the strap to the bottom of the left foot. Take the left foot up to the ceiling. Gently pulling the toe back towards the head. Bend the knee into the chest. Press the foot out. Bend the knee into the chest. And press it out. Bring the knee in. Press it out. Let's get a little static hold here on that leg and feel those muscles just shake, that soreness in the hamstring there. Taking just a few seconds to breathe deep into that left leg. And then remove the strap and find the happy baby here with that left leg. So elbow to the inner part of the knee, hand to the outer part of the foot. Just taking a few breaths here. And then releasing the left foot down. Let's take those legs and let's dip the knees to the right. Letting the right hip lift up. Dip the knees to the left, letting the left hip lift. Just a couple windshield wipers here. Dip the knees to the right. And then to the left. One final time. Bringing the knees up, let's find a full happy baby here. So lifting both legs, reaching for the outer parts of the feet, opening it through the hips and the hamstrings here, finding that full happy baby. Breathing deep into the hips, breathing deep into the hamstrings. And then slowly release the soles of the feet back down to the mat. And let's take that left ankle atop that right thigh, drop that left toe over. We're just finding a little twisted pigeon here. So just a gentle twisted pigeon. Letting that right hip lift up, remove any tension that may be building up in the shoulder blades here. We're just twisting from the navel down. Removing any remaining tension in the lower back. Lifting that knee back up, uncrossing that left leg, and then take the right leg, the right ankle to the top of the left thigh. Drop the right toe over, just switching it out here, letting that right hip lift up. Finding a good twist here in that lower back. Just allowing yourself to breathe deep. Really wringing out that lower spine. Lifting the hips back up. And let's get a good stretch like we did at the beginning. Take the feet out long, the hands up above. Stretch like it's the first stretch of the morning. And then take your time getting comfortable on the mat as we get ready for that meditation. So taking your time, laying it all the way down. If you need to grab a pillow or a blanket or whatever you need, you can find that now. I'm going to get seated on my mat. But just getting all the way down, pressing in. So go ahead and start to just take a few deep breaths. Getting all the wiggles out, getting yourself prepared, getting yourself ready. And then bringing some attention to the space around you. Noticing any little sounds that you may hear, any little background noises. And just beginning to let those noises fade away. Beginning to notice your breath as it begins to slow down. Breathing deep, slowing down at that breath. Notice how your body becomes heavy on those exhales. Notice with every exhale, all the stress begin to melt away. Notice with every exhale, you just melt a little deeper into that state of rest. And God, you say in Philippians, don't worry about anything, to let our requests be made known to you. So God, we're just going to release those worries here. You tell us to cast our anxieties onto you, to trust in you with all of our hearts. So we're going to be intentional here with these next few moments we have to just let any worries melt away, let any anxiousness melt away. The worries of yesterday, any fears of tomorrow, anything that we're carrying around, any burdens that we're toting that aren't meant for us, we just let it melt away. We ask that you reveal those things to us. Maybe something pops into your mind when you think of that, when you think of worries or toting anything heavy. And just take a moment here as you exhale to just let it go. Release it here in the space. Cast those cares and receive a little rest. Just receiving some much needed rest here. Maybe that rest is needed for our physical bodies. Maybe that rest is needed for our mental state, to just turn our brains off for a moment. Just taking a moment to just be here, to be aware of the space that you're in, to be present in this moment, to not look behind, to not look ahead. But to just be here. To notice the rise and the fall of our chest. To notice our muscles as they begin to relax. And to notice our bodies as it benefits from that stretch. As it benefits from those poses, from the lengthening of our muscles. And as you take that next inhale, you begin to wiggle the fingertips and you wiggle the toes, and slowly just start to wiggle around, bringing a little life back to your body. And then take your time working your way back up into a seated position. Taking your time, crisscrossing your legs, getting that good straight spine. And taking the palms of the hands down to the knees. Let's inhale the shoulders up. Exhale. Drop them back and just feel them melt. Take the head, dipping it to the left, and then to the right. Maybe you take a head roll here, whatever feels good. Maybe you roll the shoulders, get a little movement. And then take the hands down by the side. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, bring the thumbs into the chest. I pray that you have a beautiful and blessed Tuesday today, even on this rainy day, that you see God's goodness in your life and you walk in His favor.